I want you to imagine that you just arrived to the movie theaters, right? And you are very, very late. So late to the point where you only get to catch like the last 3 to 5 minutes of the movie, right? So you get to see the ending. You get to see the boy get the girl. You get to see the bad guy lose and the good guy win. You get to see how, in the end, everything works out for the main characters, right? The characters that you would have eventually fell in love with. That is what you get to see because you walked in on the end, right? So now you know that the movie is going to restart right after this showing. So you just sit and you wait in the theater as it clears out and the new people for the new showing start to pile in there. The movie starts again, right? The lights go down, it's dark, bam, back to the beginning of the movie. Now, as the movie is playing, right? The other people around you, like, they're feeling the emotions of like not knowing what's gonna happen. They're feeling the anxiety. They're feeling the fear, right, of not knowing, like, damn, is who's gonna win? Is she gonna get the guy? Like, are they gonna work out? Like, they are literally gripping onto their seats, but you, like, you're sitting there just like, oh, okay, like you're watching it unfold, all while knowing that in the end it is gonna work out exactly how you would have wanted to, right? That is the same way you have to look at your dreams. That is the same way you have to look at your goals. You have to expect the ending. You have to act as if you already know how this story is going to end. And you know how you know? Is because there is nothing that you cannot be, do, or have. As long as you persist towards that goal will be yours. So just like the ending of that movie, how you already knew how it was going to end and you sat through it and you went through the ups and the downs, but you didn't let that affect how you felt because deep down you knew how it was going to end. That is the same type of emotion you have to apply to your dreams and as you're creating your dream life. Welcome back. My name is Juditha, and on this channel, we talk about all things mindset. We talk about your goals, your fears, your insecurities, your limiting beliefs, all those things that come up when you are creating your dream life, because I'm doing the same thing. So trust me when I say that I get it. I am exactly where you are, maybe a few steps ahead, but I'm right there with you, okay? So today I want to talk about this concept of acting as if, because we hear it all the time. If you are a Neville Goddard fan, this is something that you probably heard. Like, I've read a few of his books now and I'm still reading one of his books right now. Like, that is my book that I'm trying to finish. Like, I'm such a slow reader. Anyway, so if you ever heard of Neville, then you know that he speaks about like using your imagination and kind of like embodying the end result. Like, he kind of describes like he describes consciousness as a reflection of your reality. So exactly what you're living is exactly who you believe that you are. And when you want to change the outside, you just change what you believe about yourself. You change what you believe about the world. And as a result, your world will change. Like, the exterior will change to match the internal. So this concept of acting as if just basically means like whatever your goals are, you have to act as if you already have them. You have to act as if you are the person who has already built up the mindset to have and maintain the things that you want, right? And in the beginning, it's going to be a little difficult because you don't really know what you acting like, right? If you don't know what you're acting like, then it is going to be a little harder. So that's why when it comes to acting as if, the first thing you got to do is figure out, well, who do I need to be? Like, what do I even need to act like? So of course you have to have a clear goal. You have to know where you're headed. Like, everyone at some point has been given a vision for their life. Like, even if you feel confused, I know deep down there's probably something that you've always thought about doing, thought about trying. And the thing about this life is that when you get that inclination, that desire to do something, you kind of just have to run with it. And you don't have to fear and feel like, damn, like I have to make a decision and this is going to be the thing that I'm going to do for the rest of my life, because that's not the case. I've been following my desires since college, like since I graduated college, right? And the things that I desire to do then is not the things that I'm doing now. Like, it's related in that I'm an entrepreneur still. However, the business that I started, like, I thought I was going to be in clothing, like selling clothing, and now I'm literally selling like mindset. So it's completely different. However, if I didn't start there, if I didn't start out, in that business where I learned how to become an entrepreneur, right? If I didn't try another business and see how, okay, this isn't for me, like, these little things are necessary. You trying the things that you desire is very necessary because that is the only way you're going to know if you like it or not. So you have to be willing to commit to something even if it's temporary. Like, don't feel like, oh my God, this is such a big decision. Like, this is going to be exactly what my life is going to have to look like because I decided. Like, no. You get to decide and then you get to change. And it's funny because I have a gratitude journal. Like, I have, like, first of all, a million journals. I have one for gratitude. I have one for shadow work. I have one just for like big life milestones that I'll write in. Like I have a few journals. And when it comes to my gratitude journal, I'm like on the second one. I think, yeah, last year I like filled up the whole one, so I bought another one for this year. But the gratitude journal that I wrote in last year, like when I go back and I read some of the things that I wrote, I'm like, ooh, because my process, like when I write in my gratitude journal, that is my way of acting as if I already have the things. So I like to give thanks to the things that I know I want to manifest, right? And there's some things in there that I was giving thanks for that I don't have. Not only that, but I don't want that anymore. Like at one point, I thought I wanted to have a podcast with a friend of mine, and now that's no longer the case. Like I have a podcast by myself, which is what I think was always meant for me. But I wouldn't have known that have I not tried to work with somebody else. Like I wouldn't have known that have I not given it a chance, right? So the things that you want might change. Be open to it. All you have to do is just be willing to commit to something. So when it comes to your goals, just decide like, what do I want? What feels to me right now the most aligned? What is calling me the most? And then you try that. So let's say though you're clear, you have a goal, you know exactly what it is that you want to work towards, you know exactly how you want your life to feel, you know how you want your life to look. Perfect. So when you know that, now you just have to kind of reverse engineer it. You look at your goal and then you say, okay, well, what does this require of me? We could take my goal, for example. I want to be a mindset coach. I want to be a motivational speaker. Like I want to travel and I want to use my voice to change the way people think. So when I think about that, I'm like, okay, what does that goal require of me? First of all, it definitely requires me to have confidence. It requires me to be courageous. It requires me to be okay with people disagreeing with me. And that was something that took me a while to like get used to, because at first the thought of someone not agreeing with my thoughts and my beliefs was like, oh my God, it was scary. It was like, what if someone disagrees? What if someone says I'm wrong? But I've gotten to a place like in my spiritual journey, like where I realize that beliefs are so fickle. Like you can believe whatever you want. Like there is so many religions, there is so many like different things that people believe in. There's too many for me to believe that I'm right. Like there's too many for me to believe that what I believe in is just it. Like, and whatever you believe in is wrong. Like if it doesn't identify with my beliefs, it's wrong. No, because I feel like we are all living different realities, right? And these realities that we've built for ourselves has been built on a foundation of, well, what is your family culture like? What is your religion like? What is the world around you like? What is your country like? So when you take into account all of that, like, of course, we're going to be different. Like, of course, you are going to believe different things than I believed. It's just it just makes sense. Like there's so many people in this world. How could we possibly expect for everyone to be on the same page about everything? Let me get back on track. Y'all know I can go off on a tangent. So besides that, my dreams also require me to be willing to step out of my comfort zone, right? It requires me to be able to talk to people, like talk to strangers. And this is probably the biggest obstacle that I've had, because like in person, I'm actually like kind of an anxious person. Like you would not be able to tell if you're around me, because I do a very good job of like overriding it, like the anxiety that I feel, but like my heart can be going like 1,000 miles per hour, and like you'll never know, because I do a good job for the most part of like keeping calm. But that is something that is a challenge for me. But I know that if I want to speak in front of a crowd of thousands of people, this is something that I have to get used to, right? So that is what I mean by acting as if. Like I act as if I am that person that my goals require me to be. Like every time I forget, every time I'm being lazy, every time I want to just like go into my shell and be introverted, I have to remind myself of what I'm asking for. Not only that, but I have to remind myself that if you don't take the time now, while you have a smaller audience, while you haven't made all the money that you want to make, while your business isn't as big as you want it to be, like I tell myself, like while I'm in this baby phase of it all in my journey, like this is the time for me to practice everything. This is why the time it takes is the time it takes, because you have to give yourself time to grow into that person. I have to give myself time to grow into that person. And just knowing that should help you be just a little bit more patient about wherever you are, compared to where you want to go. So when you are acting as if, you have to literally try to take on the traits of the person that your goals require you to be. If you know you need to be a little bit more confident, every day work towards that. Like you definitely probably won't wake up tomorrow and like embody the whole like characteristics, like personality of that person that you need to be. But if you write it down, you read it to yourself every day, you remind yourself every day of who you need to be, it will get easier. Here's an exercise that you can do. Grab your journal, right? And I want you to think about, first of all, your goal. Like you want to write your goal at the top, or you can describe your dream life, at the top of the paper before you even get into the exercise. Like, just write down what you want life to look like, who you want to be, the type of person that you are required to be in order to have that lifestyle. And then after you have like a good, solid, clear idea of what that is, then I want you to think about the person that you need to be and write down, how does she walk? How does she talk? How does she think? You know, what type of people does she keep around her? How does she spend and manage her money? You want to write down how she talks to people. You want to write down what her everyday life would look like. You just want to get a very like clear idea, like as if you are creating a movie and you are literally drawing up the character, like what this character is going to look like, because you have to start thinking about your life like a movie. Like, you are the writer, you are the director, the producer, and the main character. Okay, when you start acting like that, your life will change because you will feel like you have so much control over what happens next. So once you do that exercise, try your best to read it every day or every other day or at least every week. But if you can just memorize the characteristics yourself, something you could do is ask yourself, like, what would this version of me do? Like me, I have actually a sticky note written on my work computer that says, what would the 10K version of me do? Like, or like, what would the 10K version of Judy do? Kind of like, you know, those bracelets that say, like, what would Jesus do? Same thing, just apply it to yourself. And whenever you get into a situation, whenever you're being lazy, whenever you feel scared, like whenever you know that you need that future version of you to like help you through this moment, just ask yourself, like, what would this version of me do? Okay, and that is how you act as if. That is how you act as if you already have the dream life, the dream relationship, the dream whatever it is. Okay, you just have to start acting as if by embodying the qualities that you know are going to be required of you when you get there. You get to practice them right now. Okay, don't wait. That is the reason why the universe puts that, like, that time in between where we are and where we want to be. Like, we think that we want to just be gifted, like we think that we want to wish for something and God to just send it down immediately. But if you're being honest, like, there's just no way you can handle everything that you want. Your only job is to just act as if everything is always working out for you. Okay, there's something called the law of expectancy, right? What this means is what you expect is what you get. Okay, so expect the best, because why not? Right? Expect that everything is working out for you, because why not? Expect that in the end, you know how this movie is going to end, right? Expect it. And when you expect it, you are most likely to take the action that'll get you there. Okay, that is it for today's video. I hope you bloomed today. I hope it was helpful. If it was, make sure that you subscribe, make sure you like, and also leave me a comment with your thoughts, feelings, emotional outbursts. I will see you guys on the next one.